Hello and welcome to Gumbo's Flying Circus. Today I thought I'd do a little build video looking at the Ecto one from the Hero Collectors EagleMoss, and I received my issue 3 magazine today with 4 stages to get through. So I just thought I'd show, this is going to be unedited, and I thought I'd show me building this, because then you can get a more realistic idea of what's involved and how long it takes. So last time I received parts 1 and 2 and we built this. So basically you had to attach these side bits, make the lights and put these on, add the strobes and this front bit as well that went on, all together with screws, and these screws are absolutely tiny. There's some behind here which, if I can get that close enough, you may see there, and there's, in this light, you see those 2 screws at the top and that middle one. That's how tiny these things are. And also, if I can get this to focus properly, well, there's 2 screws either side of this, one there and one there. And look at the size of my finger. And I've got average hands, I haven't got massive hands. And extremely tiny screws. So we made that. I also put these 2 bits together, this top bit and this chrome bit at the bottom, and that had 4 screws along the back there. That's a metal piece, and these chrome pieces are plastic, and this white piece here is metal. And it's quite weighty. We also, if I can get it out of the packet, received the bonnet, and all you had to do with this piece was attach these 2 with the 4 screws, which are white screws with kind of black innards, but yeah, they're white. But yeah, attach these 2 to the bonnet, and of course it's black underneath. I've got some fingerprint marks on there, I'll give it a clean. That's all 3D in chrome. That's quite sharp, that little bit there, actually feels a bit sharp, might need a little file. So you can see that these are starting to fit together, and it's going to be something like that. So you can get an idea of the size of this. It's pretty big, and this is metal and it's pretty heavy. So that's how wide the car is. So it's going to be pretty huge. And we also received this little sticker last time. Which is for one of the doors, or the back door. There's 3 on the vehicle. So we'll have to see what transpires. But I'll keep all this in the package with all the spare screws. And yeah, so that was last time. So this time we've got an issue 3 monthly magazine here, which is full of interesting stuff. to do with the next parts, to do with Ghostbusters Egon, Harold Ramis, Sly, Astoria Slimer, and then we've got all the build bits here, and all the stages for the 4 stages that come in this issue, and a rundown of what's in the box. And we've got some spare screws as well. So stage 3, if I put that there, now I'm going to try and use, as I did last time, the screwdriver that comes with it. Now you can buy better screwdrivers. This is magnetic. It does the job, but it's a bit finicky. But it's better than nothing, and at least it comes with something. So we put that there. So as you see, it's pretty small. But it does what it needs to do, I guess. So let me get the first parts. So these are they. And that is for the lower half of the bumper and the 2 lights there get filled, and some screws. So let's get this open. And I'm going to need a part that came with parts 1 and 2, which I got for £2.99, which is a bargain for the first few bits. And then it's about £42 a month thereafter for this. And it makes a 1/8 scale Ecto 1, weighing about 5 kilos, decast metal with plastic bits, and I'm sure there'll be some mod parts for it coming out soon, like there was with the DeLorean that I saw when I was looking to decide if I wanted to do that one as well. And I've got to try and find a way into this without making a complete mess. There we go. These are the Fort Knox of boxes, by the way. So I'm trying carefully to open it. I've got to use a bit of force. There we go. And without wrecking it or making it all jump everywhere, but there we go. Everything's in place and it's open, and you see how nice and shiny that is. I'll get it in the light there. So it's nice, not too bad, you know. These are all plastic bits. That's a plastic bit, look at that, nice and shiny. So the first thing it's telling us to do is put the number plate on. Now we've got this in the first 2 packages. And there it is, the Ecto 1 number plate, and it's got 2 screw holes in the back. But as you can see against fingernails there. Kind of the size of it. That's tricky to get. Yeah, there we go. So that piece is going onto this piece. You're going to look at the in the magazine. It's got really good drawings, tells you what screws you need, and they've made the lettering for the size of screws bigger, because that was really difficult to see on the last one. So that's really good, and the screws the diagrams for the screws are a bit bigger, and you can read all the part numbers a lot better as well. So that's excellent changes there to the last 2 magazines. So essentially that just goes in there, Apparently this is really simple to build. Just screw it together. So there's the Ecto 1 number plate in. Now we need BM screws. So what's good as well is they come in these little packets like this, and it says BM on there, and you've got 3 in the packet. And if you go back to the stage 3, look for BM screws, there's 1 spare in there. So there's, if you drop these, you will not find them on the carpet for love nor money. I dropped 1 last time, one of the spares, and never seen it again. Just completely vanished off the face of the earth. Which is kind of a pain if that was your last one. But if I put the screws here, and you can see just how small they are. I can get one to rest on my finger. That's how tiny this screw is. It's extremely small. That's why you need a magnetic one of these. So I can just plop that on the top of that. Make sure it's straight. And that makes life a lot easier. Just put my finger on the front there to stop it coming out. I'm just going to take my time putting this in. Like this. And then do the second one. I'm not tightening that one up until I've got both in, so it doesn't warp it or make it distorted or cause any problems with finding it. And you see, if you haven't got brilliant eyesight like me, if you're in your 40s, you're definitely going to need to wear your glasses. There we go. And I'm just going to turn that without putting much force on it, but enough so that it plops in to that part, like so. And wait until that's tight. I don't want to break anything. As soon as it goes tight, I'll stop and do the other one. And that should be good. And usually once it's tight, you give it another quarter turn. And that's the number plate on, with the 2 screws in the back here and here. Very tiny. The number plate's now in place, and that's not going anywhere. It's a really nice fit, fits first time. No shaving or filing or drilling, just goes straight in. And I think that looks really nice actually, especially with that chrome. It's quite a nice little effect there. Alright, so that's the first part done of this. I just need to put this little screw back into the packet because I like to keep the spares. Apparently you might end up with quite a lot, so it's worth keeping a eye on them, but it's good in case you drop them, in case you lose some, or you never know. Right, so we need this part with these lenses on this side here. Obviously that's the under the lights, but the fog lights or whatever you want to call them. Still nice and shiny. Plastic part, but very shiny. Does look very nice. And these kind of little lens things that have a swirl effect on them, like you would find on the glass or whatever lenses they have in the actual thing. So we need to, there's some indents inside here, so it just pops in and fits into those. Or does it go the other way? I think it goes that way. So it's got to have a V shape to it. And that'll fit in there nice and snug. Give it a little shake, a little tap. Right, now this looks a bit tricky. You've got these parts here, which is L2 and L1. So L1 needs to go in first, just like this. And it even says on the diagram where the lettering and the number is, corresponds there, so you can get it the right way round. Well, that kind of drops in place there. Like so. And we need AP screws. They're DP. So it says AP and it says AP on the packet. And we're going to need 4 of these for this side. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 there. And again, it's just a case of putting the screw on the screwdriver head. And holding that in place and using eyesight, trying to get that screwed in. Which that hasn't worked. It's very difficult to see this. Just make sure that lens is in place. Make sure that this is in place. Which is a little bit tricky. One of the best thing in the world for lining up, because you've got some very small holes that you need to line up. So you've got to have kind of a way of holding that in there. Perhaps. Let's see. No. Man, that's small. That's really small. It's deep in there, so it's a case of having the knack. Just to get that started off. Like that. And that does look cool. Although it's very temperamental. You've got to kind of see the light. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing this in the dark. You need plenty of light and super great eyesight, because that is very difficult to see. And these, of course, these parts form the actual lights themselves, but these won't be lit, possibly. Or they might have some lighting behind them. Screw them one at a time. Yeah, so there we go. There's the first one. And you see it just fits around that lens. And it looks pretty good actually. It does look like it's got a bulb in there, which is quite impressive. So if there was any lighting in here, if there is any, it'd shine around the outsides of that. It kind of reflects around. And now what I'm wondering is, has that lens shifted to the point where that one's no longer lining up? And it has. I need to undo these screws slightly. Just move that over, make that one's in place. Right, so now I need to hold that down and re-screw these in. Right, that one's tight. That one's tight. Yeah, that's better. And those lenses are in perfect place now. Okay, so it's just a few adjustments there. This inside here needs to come this way, and that's a more snug fit on this side, and that makes sense. But it does look good. It does look nice. Right, now we've got to do the other side. So this is L2, and it shows L2. There's a little part there, and it says it up there, and that will correspond in there that way. So I need to put that in. Right, so try to stop that falling over. Alright, let's get another screw. Right. It's a bit finicky, this, because you're trying to build it with one hand. You get the screw in, as soon as that screw starts going in, I know I'm good. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can line this up with the other hole and get this second screw in on this right side bit. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time. If you've got better eyesight, you'll be whizzing through this. And just tighten this one up best as I can. There we go. There's that one. Once it's in, you don't need to look at it, you can just feel it, and you can feel that tightening. Put a little bit of pressure on this screwdriver to just make sure it doesn't round this screw off. There we go. Just give that another little squeeze. Another one for that one, and another one for this one, just to be absolutely sure that that's not going to come loose or rattle around too much, and it's going to look nice. Right then, so those two pieces are in on top of the lenses. And that's that piece done. Now we've got to do the other one. So that's that one. There, that's that bit there. So now we can whiz through it now. Right, so we put that piece on there. Yeah, if you've tried this and you found it a bit finicky, let me know. Or if you like the idea of having a go at this yourself. just got to make sure these line up and it's in the right way round. There we go. Give it a little shake and it pops in. Right, so then this one is R1, which is the top one, and we need 4 more AP screws that come with it. If I can get this packet open, everything is quite small and dainty. I mean, that packet there, that back in. Right, R1, which is going in on that side. Like so. This tiny little screw on the screwdriver, and just install this and of course it moves as soon as you touch it. There we go. Some of the way, not all of the way. Just screw that in. But you do start to get used to this. Just want to make sure that screw's on absolutely straight. Right, that's that in. I'm not going to screw it all the way. Get it most of the way just so there's a bit of give. That lens there. There we go. Get the other side, which is R2, and that needs to go this way around. Looking at the diagram, looking at the screw holes. There we go. That was a much better fit. Just want to check the underside to make sure there's no gaps. And then just screw that side in as well. Like so. Now we want to make sure that hole's lined up with that. These do warp a fair bit if you do it too much, I'm finding. Right, so let's get this screw in. I'm going to go all the way with this one. Okay, that's tight. Now all the way with this one. And just tighten these ones up in here. The first one. And then do this last one as well. Right, so that one's all done. Those are in there. And so those are complete. Right, so we take this one and this one, and we have to join these together like so. Just that screw in there, like that. So for that's the DP screws, which are slightly bigger. We need one of these to start it off. If I can get the packet open. Let's have some coffee before this goes cold. If you've got some slight nails, it does help to get these packets open. They don't like to squish. Right, there we go. Alright, so you need one DP screw to start with, and one for the other side. So this goes this way round. Just get one of those screws. These ones are slightly bigger. Oh, and I'll show you this in a second. There. So still tiny, but not as tiny. And you've got to try and hold these two pieces together whilst you screw it in. Somehow. Something like that. That's tight. A little bit of a gap there. That is screwed in tight for that side. And we add the other one on the other side the same way. Right, that's going in there. Right, that's tight in. So we now have this piece. That's just 2 screws either side. So we now got to marry this up with this piece here. 1, 2, 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. And that goes something like that. Which is looking quite a substantial piece of car now on the front of that. Right, sorry about that. And that was another delivery today of a light tube for the kitchen. That's something else for me to put together later. I won't be streaming that or taking a video of it either. Right, so this requires 3 DP screws just to marry these 2 pieces together. That's the first one. This bit's slightly easier, less finicky. That's the second one left to do. The good thing about not editing this is that it may be a bit drawn out, but you can get an idea of how long this is going to take someone that hasn't done these sort of things before. Make sure that's in nice and tight, and make sure that's in nice and tight. Last thing you want is a model that's loose. There we go. There we go. Right, so that's that bit completed. And so we had the first bit last time, now we've just added this bit. And if we get the bonnet, you can start to get a feel for how big this is going to be. And I think that looks quite nice. Yeah, so that's looking nice. And that's the first part, and these bits here, there's a couple of screw holes there. These fit together on the sides. That fits quite nicely, as does this side. There's some very small gaps here and here, but if that's like the real thing, then all the better. Plus the number plate there looking nice, and the lights, lenses, and the backs to those as well. That's how it looks from behind. So it's quite a clean build, quite a nice one. All fits together snugly. Can't really grumble with that. That looks quite nice. So let's put these screws back in here. Without that, move this along. And yeah, it's nice that you get the front bit done, because you can actually see your car starting to come together, and you start getting an idea of the scale and the size, and that's pretty heavy because of the metal parts on it. These metal parts aren't like thin and light, they're pretty robust and strong and quite thick and heavy. You know, it's a weighty old thing, and look at that chrome shines lovely. Really nice. Yeah, I like that. That's very nice. Alright, let's put this down here without scratching anything or breaking anything. So we move on to the wheel. So another package. So you get the wheel with the rim, the hub up here, and of course some more little tiny screws. On this part there is one spare screw, and they're CM screws, so we've got to make sure we don't lose any of these. So let's get this open somehow. I might have to cut it actually. Oh no, there we go. See if all this comes off. Now you've got to keep some of these other parts separate and not put on yet until you get the chassis and things like that, like the hubcap. So you're going to have to find a way to keep them safe for X amount of time and not lose them. Otherwise you'll be reordering and paying for parts you've missed or lost. There we go. Alright, let's check that bit. Yeah, that hubcap. Yeah, so there it is. And that hubcap piece is very small. So let's get the wheel out. And that actually has some weight to it. That is not a flimsy tyre. And it has all the tread on it. And these are Firestones, which you could now consider a budget tyre. This is Malone Champion, Firestone Malone Champion, made in the USA. That's pretty detailed, but that is a heavy tyre. So you've got to have 4 of these on the vehicle. You can see now why they're saying it weighs 5 kilos. I mean, that's sturdy. There's no give in this at all. It's just rock solid. And it's got the rim on there. I mean, it's almost like a proper rubber tyre. Well, obviously there'd be more give in a real tyre. But yeah. So what's interesting with this piece is this metal as well, by the weight. Yeah, that's metal, and there's a valve, and it has a valve on it there, that tiny little black valve, but that's a metal piece, which is quite surprising. Now I think these say the same thing either way. I don't think it matters which side these go. I think it's all the same. So I guess you look and see which side is actually better looking. Which is probably that side. So you want to fit that in there. I'm going to do it as per how it looks in the picture. So it's kind of that. Push that in. And that fits quite snugly. Like so. And we take this piece, flip this over, and there's 3 holes. And that's metal piece as well. And it just kind of, there's 3 screw holes there, 3 on there. And I'm just lining those holes up. Like so. Alright, now we need to put those 3 CM screws in, and that's all we do for this. We don't put this cap on, or this tiny little hub cap, this thing here, and it's actually got the emblem and writing on right in the centre of that. This won't focus very well, but you can kind of make that out just about there. So that's great detail. That's a nice little detail. It's going to make it really authentic and not seem like some cheapy plastic thing or some expensive plastic thing. But that's a real metal piece. I'm really shocked at how much that weighs, because that really gives you, starts with the bonnet and the front end and the weight of this wheel. You can really see how this is all gonna kind of be when it's finished. You know, this is a weighty vehicle. You're going to need a very strong shelf, something that can carry a lot of weight to put, because this comes, a display case comes with this. You get the display case at the end, I think. And so you've got the weight of the display case and the weight of this vehicle. You know, it's a quality product from what I've seen so far. I mean, the weight of this wheel was really shocked me. You know, that's like a bag of, that's like half a bag of sugar, that, or a quarter of a bag of, that's really heavy. You know, just on its own, that's really heavy. Right, so that's that in. So I'm guessing eventually this is going to sit on here, obviously. Pretty much like that. I mean, that's really nice looking. It's got some writing on it, and yeah, that's a heavy piece. So yeah, that's the wheel done. That's all we need to do on this piece. Put it back in there, keep the hubcap there, put the screw back on, put this down with the other bit for storage a bit later on. Right, gearbox. So we've got this nice plastic bit now, which is a little bit easier to get into than, and that's why I've got the scissors. It's going to be easier to get into than the paper stuff. I suppose easier to nick as well. But it's a part 5. And it says 005 on there. And there's the screws. Right, so this is the gearbox. Again, metal parts. Okay, it's in a clamshell. Yeah, some metal parts. Don't know if you can kind of see that. Nice and shiny. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite nice. Good quality. Really good quality parts. So the first thing we need to do is we need this piece. We've got EM screws and DM screws. Again, it says it on the packet. I don't need to keep showing you that. And then we've got two pieces here. We've got a short one and a long one. We need the short one because that fits on there. That fits on there, which is really hard to see. Like so. So I'm going to put these on. And the screws are DM screws that go through the back. Just to make it fun. Let's get two of these. One, two. So that goes this way round. So let's put this on here. Now does that look the same whichever way round you put it? Pretty much. So that's uniform, which is handy. That's gone in a little awkward. Right, so that's the one side started. Let's do the other bit. Good thing as well is you can see the light coming through the holes. It's just where everything's so small and dainty, and a little bit tricky to hold. Obviously I've never built these before, and it's just getting used to being able to see. My eyesight isn't the best of eyesight. Right, let's get this screwed in. I think that's got it. Alright, it's nice and raining outside. Yeah, these require a bit of oomph. Right, so just make sure that's in properly. Yeah, so that's on, not going anywhere. 2 screws here and here. That's secure. See, now's about the right time that you'd probably want to get an aftermarket screwdriver. This may have gone as far as is comfortable to use. But it's nice to be starting on the engine so early. And getting the front end of this car looking a bit more like Ecto. Right, so now we need this piece and the long bit, and that's uniform as well, and that fits in there. So it's very difficult to see, but it just slots through a slot there. There's a slot just here, and that just fits in and screws in the back there, like that. So I've got a feeling this is going to be hard going because it's all painted. Let's see if I can turn that around just so see if that's a better fit. Yeah, it's about the same. So we need DM screws again, 2 of these little suckers. And this piece fits into this piece. Oh, so let's get that out of the way. Over there. 1, 2. Sorry for the creases, but I've just thrown a sheet over this little table I've got because it wasn't. I've used it for all sorts of things, gluing and everything. Plus it's black, so this is the sheet I don't use really. Right, let's get that one in there. It's a bit easier when you can hold it. It's blowing a gale out there. I think this is another storm. We've had Dennis, and I'm not sure what this storm's called. Storm Daphne or something. But it's, yeah, wind's picking up, rain's picking up, and I'm all nice and cosy and putting together my Ecto 1 and taking my mind off pain and all the rest of it. Right. There we go. Requires a bit of force of your palm onto this bit, which isn't the most comfortable bit. Just to keep that from slipping and rounding these screws off or breaking heads. So you can feel that biting. Just give it a little extra. Give it a wiggle. Alright, so that's now in there with that bit there, with the hole in it pointing out. So this whole unit now goes into here. this way round. Like so. If I can get this in the light. It's very difficult with dark. There we go. You can kind of see it there. There we go, it's a bit better. So that bit just fits in there like that with the 3 screws. And these are EM screws, which are tiny. Yeah, if you've got big fingers, or you might struggle with this stuff. Let's get those 3 screws out. Oh, that's a few too many. Scoop that back in there. So these EM screws, tiny screws. And these only screw in a very short amount. They're not very long at all. It's just to hold that in there. Just a few turns and they're kind of in. I'll get this one in here as well. You've got to make sure it's all, each part is in properly and safe and secure and not going to wiggle around or come loose. Yeah, so there we go, that's in. And the screws are in those holes. Oh, it's hard to get the light. There we go. That's all solid. It's not rocking about. Nothing's rattling. That's my watch. Right, so that piece is done. We now need to put on these are last 3 pieces. So that holds like this. And these fit on together like that and on like that. And that's a DM screw. And that's what the bracket on the front was we put on first for, just to hold these in place. This first piece. So we've got the part there, that hole lines up with the hole in here, which you can't really see. And I can't really see. That goes in there. You've got to really try and get hold of that and stop it wobbling about so you can just get it screwing. See, now you've really got to give it some welly. So if that's not happening, I'm just going to draw that screw out again and then put it back in. I think it's where it's painted. That's extremely tough to get in. Let me have a look at that. It's not rounded or anything. I'll just try again. That needs to fit on like that. Okay, let's get this screw. So this is where really you need to start looking into getting some extra screwdrivers, so I think I'm going to do that, as this is proving not so easy. Just make sure it's make sure it's going in straight. You can see when you look at it on the side, it's in, but it's got some manoeuvring to do. And if I can't get it with this, I'm going to be screwed. I'll just go and get some other screwdrivers. It's kind of almost there. Just that last little piece. Wonder if I try a different screw. The last thing I want to do is round that off. That's a very difficult one to get in. So that's a DM screw. Let's get another one out. Let's try this one. Now that the other one's paved the way, this might go in a little bit easier. Yeah, so that's still a bit loose. So I might have to abandon this and go and get another screwdriver, unless I can just get that to just take. Yeah, that's much better than before. It's getting there. Yeah, this is a tough one to get in, especially with this screwdriver. Oh. Yeah, it's literally just about a quarter of a turn left. I mean, that's a lot more, but it's still a bit wobbly. And the problem you've got is you don't want to round these screws off. Although that's not looking... Oh, that's a thing. But it's starting to be. Yeah, that's... Oh. So maybe the last screw will go in now because those two sort of paved the way. And spliced into it. But because I only need one DM screw, and the rest are all EM screws for the other parts, which are these ones. I just need one of these to go in using this little screwdriver, but I may have to get a whole new set. And there's also a little mark there that has to go in a hole right next to it as well, which is fun. Yeah, there we go, third time lucky and it's in. That's now solid. So it's a little bit of a wobble. So we just give that a few there and we're in. We're in business. Alright, so that bit's on. Third screw lucky. So the other two are sort of cutting their way in through the paint. It must be paint. But that's a really tight threading there. That's some tough threading. Ooh. Right, EM screws. It's nice because you can just sit here in some spare time when you've got an hour or two. 1, 2, 3. Just to make your little car, you know. Alright, these are the EM which we used earlier. So this goes on to this piece just on the other side there. So you're going to have that. Oops. Right, so let's fit that bit on there. Let's get a screw. And these are the little ones. Just do that to start with. Get another one. That's going to go in this front piece here. Just to connect these two. Just tighten these up once they're in. There we go. And then you have the last piece, this bit here. Which goes that way around. And that's a plastic bit. So it's all metal apart from that little bit which is plastic. So we just place this on here. Make sure it's tight. And that helps hold it all together as well. Slightly. Oh, that's tight. There, so that's the gearbox. All finished. Oh, nice little piece that. And it's pretty heavy as well. There's some heavy old parts to this. Right, so that's that part done. Let's put it down here. Right, on to the next. Will I be able to do this bit with this screwdriver? It is just about getting through it with it, but it does hurt your hand. So we've got left engine block, dipstick and ignition wire junction, all in this with some floating screws. So some more engine pieces. Quite a nice tranquil afternoon this. Right, so we've got DM screws, BP screws and AP screws, plus the customary clamshell, keeping it all together, which is nice. I'm not going to lose any bits. So for the money you're paying, this is, you know, really nice to see. There we go. Alright, there's the engine block and bits and bobs. There. And that top bit says Cadillac on it. So even these bits are really detailed. So we start off with this. This is metal. This piece here. Metal. And we need this piece here, which is, I think it's this bit. Which is plastic. So we need to get this the right way round, so it's that way round. And this piece sits in here. Right, so, and that takes 2 DM screws. So let's get those. Hopefully these will go in a bit easier. If I can get them open. Oh, that's 2 too many. One, put those back. Don't want to lose those or get them mixed up. Right, DM screws. It's actually going in half decently. To a point. Right, let's put this one in here. Now you need a bit of brute force. Take it out again. Yeah, you're definitely going to need a different screwdriver set to this one. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I can't get those in anymore with this screwdriver. That's killing my hand. It's slipping. I'm not getting enough in there. So what I'm going to do is order some new screwdrivers and come back to this and finish this off in a day or two once the screwdrivers arrive. Let's put this all back together just to keep this safe. Put that back on there. There we go. For this part, those screws are extremely tight. I mean, ridiculously tight. I'm going to need a better screwdriver. But I've got up to stage 6 with the screwdriver that came with it. And I think I just need something a bit better than this little tiny thing here. It's kind of lost its edge. You can't get the turn, the grip into there, you're hurting your fingers, so I need something with a better head on it as well. Just to get those screws in nice. So I don't want to ruin it, obviously. So that will stage 6. I'll do then. So we've got this nice piece now. All nice and finished. For that front grille. And then of course the gearbox, which is looking kind of, you can see the scale of these things now and how it's coming together. If that's the gearbox, that's pretty big, isn't it? Being that way around, but yeah. So it's looking nice. I'm really enjoying this. This is oh, you can actually see the car now when you look at this, and that's pretty special. That's how wide it's going to be. That's its widest, coming all the way back 80 centimeters with the bonnet here like this. It's going to be something quite interesting to see come along as we progress. Plus we got the wheel done, and if we put that next to it as well, you can kind of get an idea of the scale. And of course I've got that sticker to fit on at some point. And if we get the bonnet again, just place that on there. It's a big car. So that's going to give you an idea of the size of this. So it's pretty big. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Obviously if you're interested in this car, it's available on the EagleMoss website. It's the Hero Collector's Ecto 1 on a monthly subscription. Roughly works out to £42 a month, and you get 4 lots of parts every month to try and complete your car. It takes about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And I'm sure that there's a company that bring out some mods for it and things like this as well, so keep an eye out for those. So anyway guys, take care of yourselves, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your gaming, enjoy your modelling, and I'll catch you again when I can get part 6 done, stage 6. Until then, Catch you next time.
Don't forget to join the Discord channel. Like, share, follow and subscribe for regular updates, chat, screenshots and more. Your kind support is always greatly appreciated. See you next time for another Gumbo's Flying Circus livestream.